Hey Beans, before the video starts, I want to ask you to send in any masterpieces that you think push the boundaries a little bit. I've seen some ones that have things like blood on them or like really intense fight scenes. I'm interested in making a video where I show just how many crude and inappropriate masterpieces kind of slip through Animal Jim's filters. So please send any weird masterpieces you see. So please send any masterpieces that push the limits to julian2moments@gmail.com and enjoy the video. Hey Beans! Today we're going to talk about masterpieces. These have become a huge part of the game. Ever since their release, they have just exploded because the Animal Jam art community is just huge. First of all, the age range is just right where people are really excited about art and haven't gotten busy and older yet. And also, people are just really creative on Animal Jam. It naturally attracts these kind of interested in nature, fun-loving, outdoorsy, creative type kids. And so we get all these amazing artists in the game. And so I really appreciate that Animal Jam has done this, but as always, there are some things that they could fix and manipulate that they don't always probably see from the inside perspective. So this is a video about some ideas that could improve masterpieces. Now the first thing is actually an issue. The rest of these are more suggestions, but this is a real issue. There is some serious hypocrisy when it comes to what masterpieces get through and what don't. And now, I know, we don't have just two people who monitor the masterpieces every single second of every single day. There are multiple people who have different opinions, and there are different rules based on the time of the day and who's on there. But really, there are some serious disparities. I'm not going to show any inappropriate masterpieces in this video, but there are some questionable masterpieces that are questionable for some other reasons. Now, take this picture that I actually had to post to Instagram because I couldn't believe it. It's a masterpiece of Cosmo, but it's hand-drawn. And now people are saying it's just the airbrush tool on the thinnest setting, and sure, that could work. But there are actual eraser marks on this if you look closely. And if you look really closely at the top quadrant, well, you'll see that there's actually a fold mark showing that this was done on paper and not on a drawing tablet or on the Animal Jam art studio for that matter. So that should not be getting through. You've got to draw your art in Animal Jam for it to count. That's why you have to save it as a .aj art file, and otherwise it doesn't work. Now, some guy sent me some art and said, hey, this is going to work if you just load it into the game. You'll actually be able to use it and it will actually work. And I tried it and it actually did work. So there are still some glitches like that people are taking advantage of, but those really just need to be dealt with. This idea that people can totally cheat the masterpiece system and release really inappropriate things is just something that shouldn't be happening. Okay, here's the argument against this, which is going to be, okay, but Julian, what if Animal Jam is just trying to mature its fan base or let artists be artists and be creative, and they're just saying okay, you want to throw out some blood in? Go ahead. Or that curse word is really well hidden? Sure, we'll just let you have your art. Well, then there's a bit of hypocrisy because they ban some random things. For example, you can't have any masterpiece that symbolizes love. You can have hearts and stuff. Or if you have two animals that are doing something that's more than just holding hands, then they'll ban it. And actually, if you write I heart this person, or if you draw Julian 2 and Wisteria Moon heart hashtag Justeria art, from my experience, a lot of the time that will be banned. Not all the time. Not all the time. There's plenty of Justeria art out there. But my friend actually made an Animal Jam account just kind of to try it out, see what it was. And he made some art for me, and it was a total joke, and it was a Justeria art. And all it said was hashtag Justeria, and then it had a picture of us. And it got rejected because it was hashtag Justeria, and they didn't like that. And also, for a while, they banned score masterpieces. Recently, they fixed this, and they said, okay, this is kind of ridiculous, I think. And they also kind of got a little less mad at Scorm. But when he got busted for selling items and got banned, they wouldn't let you make score masterpieces. I guess they thought that he was a bad influence on the game. They didn't want to have him as a role model for kids, but they literally would ban anything that had the word Scorm in it or was of anyone that was clearly Scorm. Now, into the topics of things that Animal Jam should improve, because artists are awesome on Animal Jam, and there's plenty more that they could take advantage of. First of all, we need more tools. The color system is great. I'm so happy that you can have infinite colors, and they did do something hey, you can buy this shade of green for 3 extra diamonds. That would be really annoying. But the color scheme is great. The thing is, the tools aren't. There's just a marker, not a drawer, an eraser, a spray tool, some shapes, and that's it. I'm not an artist myself, but there are plenty of crazy art programs out there that have a million more functions, that do so many more cool things, and we've seen what some of the artists on Animal Jam can do with these amazing programs. And if Animal Jam was to implement some tools like this, they could probably get some much better art. This does a few things. First of all, you can charge diamonds for extra art tools. I think that would be cool. I honestly think that'd be fun. I honestly don't know why, but I like buying features. Like when you buy an item, it feels silly because you get rid of it after a little bit or you like stop wearing it. But when you buy a feature, you feel like you've done something good with your diamonds, and it'd be a good way to charge diamonds for something that's really fun. But now that I think about it, that might be pushing it a little bit since you already do pay 2 diamonds for every masterpiece you make. So I wouldn't blame the artist if they got a little upset about that. But I still think it would be a great idea to have some more tools in the game. I mean, even the smallest little tools would help some of these insane artists like Fruits, AJ, Basket, Person, Thing, and Nymphe Alba, and all these crazy artists whose usernames I can't pronounce because they're not like real words. But those people would use those small little tools so well. Also, it would be really, really cool if we could buy frames for masterpieces. I would really like that. I mean, there are plenty of frames right now, but the reason I feel like Animal Jam doesn't add frames that often, even though they're not that hard to make, is because they don't make very much money off of them. Having a new frame isn't going to inspire someone to make a masterpiece that often. So if they were to charge for a little bit of extra new frames, I think they would release more frames faster or allow you to have custom frames. The custom frames would be really cool. It'd be difficult because, you know, you'd have some very cringy frames. It'd be difficult to make a really good one. You'd probably just stick with the Animal Jam ones. But if you could have some sort of like streamlined or guidelined kind of making of a frame. So let's say you don't draw your own frame, but maybe you could have a wood frame and you can like stain the wood different colors. Let's say you have that Zeo's frame and you can like make Zeo's different colors, like move his eyes in different places or like change the little frills on the side. Do something like that to make masterpieces even more personal and not all so bland. Now, art collectors may not be a huge fan of this because they don't like having masterpieces with different frames. They want to have all their frames like matching so they can look good together. And here's my other suggestion. If you own a piece of art, you should be able to change the frame on it. I mean, you can do that in real life. Like you just take a masterpiece that's in there and you can just put whatever frame you want on it. Why is it stuck with the artist's frame? I mean, if they give it away, it's your piece of art now. Now, even though you could technically do this in real life, you shouldn't be able to draw on an artist's masterpiece. But I think there should at least be an option to allow your collectors who are trading for your art to change the frame, because that does a few things. First of all, it makes artists' art go up in value since these people can actually collect it better and make cool art and not just be like, oh, sorry, that's the wrong frame, I'm gonna have to make another one or I'm not gonna take it. And secondly, it just helps collectors. And honestly, I wouldn't want to take this like artistic integrity away from artists, so if they wanted to turn off the custom frame feature, then I think that would be a good thing to add. They may get a little complicated, but I just feel like there should be more stuff you can do with frames because art collectors are really the ones who are trading for the most art and the most expensive art. Also, the masterpiece party is really boring. It's the same masterpieces every single day, and I thought this was going to be fixed, but it's just the same masterpieces, and every once in a while, like a random one gets in there. I'm just like, how did this masterpiece with 4 likes? I've seen one where it's literally, it has 4 likes, and it's a picture of a smiley face. It's not even like a legit smiley face. It's like someone drew a circle, then dot, and then smiley. It had 4 likes, and it was in the masterpiece party. And then I'm like, okay, and then next to it is that one like amazing avatar piece that Artemis did, and I'm like, okay, I see this like 2 times because there are 2 copies that are always in the masterpiece party. Every single time I go to the masterpiece party, I really just don't want to see this again. Like, I love Artemis's art, but I'm here to see new art, and if I love that piece of art, I can like screenshot it or something. I don't need to see it twice at every single masterpiece party. Also on the subject of the masterpiece party, I think the masterpiece party should be on the parties list instead of where the adventure base camp kind of thing is. Because the adventure base camp is really hyped. Like, I get it, it's a big thing, and they want to show it to new players the minute they log on, but it's already in the map, and also, like, you can get there from multiple places, and it's advertised all over the place. The masterpiece party you can only get to by going to, like, a certain place and clicking to go there. That's kind of frustrating, and I would like it to be easier, and honestly, the masterpiece party is a party. It should be in the parties tab. Adventures are not a party. If they want to keep adventures up on that top tab, what they should do is add another button of like an adventure button, maybe make like a portal or something, instead of having it under the parties tab, and then just maybe take it away from the map on the bottom left. But they should add another button where you can scroll down and view all of the adventures and do whichever one you want, because then it would still be up there and be accessible and obvious to new players, but it wouldn't be taking up a slot in the party tab that should be taken up by the masterpiece party. So anyways, Beans, those are all of my thoughts on masterpieces currently. There's just so much to be done because literally the only concept that is restraining any of this is just it has to be art. There is so much creativity and so many cool things Animal Jam could do with this, because it's literally, you can do anything you want with this art. Like, someone just draws it, and then there are so many capabilities that Animal Jam has to popularize the whole art community just a little bit more, because it's really taking off, and I want to see it grow even more because I love seeing guys' art, and I love getting my own art, and I love making my own art. Oh, Julian 2 from the future is going to butt in here for a second before the outro. Let me just say, Graham's Workshop is so fun. I had no idea, but I decided I'd try and like play it for this video, and I really didn't know how to play it, but I tried it, and at first I was like, oh, this is just some grindy, silly thing, but if I speed it up, it'll look entertaining. But I actually had a ton of fun, and I was able to buy some really cool items. So seriously, if you're like me and you just looked at it and you're like, this is some silly, grindy adventure, I'm not going to play that, there are better things to do on Animal Jam, don't. Just try it. It's like a whole new aspect of Animal Jam, and it's really, really fun. So anyways, Beans, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.